Hey, what's up everybody, Serenity here, and today I wanted to share 3 new operator ideas / concepts that I had and their potential effects on the metagame. So let's get straight to it. The first idea that I had was a defensive operator that has one of those long-range spy microphones that you see in the movies. His microphone would only pick up sounds coming from the direction he's pointing. So in a way, his microphone would work a lot like Pulse's heartbeat sensor, meaning that, he would activate it and then he'd walk around pointing in different directions to try and get some information as to where the enemy team is, what they're planning to do, etc. The difference between him and Pulse is that he picks up sounds, so players playing him would have to understand sound mechanics in the game like sound propagation, what happens when you blow a hole through a wall, and so on. Another difference between him and Pulse is that he would pick up sound at medium to long range instead of very short range. Now you might say, well, that can't be balanced, it's like a long range Pulse, right? Well, no, because it's sounds that you pick up, right? So you can't be extremely precise as to where the enemy truly is, and it would only work if the sound has a way to get to you. That operator would greatly reward good map knowledge, as you would have to know what alleys leads to what rooms, etc. Balance wise, this operator would buff IQ's special ability, which is a good thing, and he would be very useful as a pinpoint defender, which in my opinion is a good thing because the pinpoint defenders need some help right now. Like I said in my Rook video, there's a lot of very good roaming operators right now, but not many good pinpoint defenders, and so adding this guy to the game would help those defenders concentrate their attention on the right flank at the right time, thus obviously making them more effective. I also like the idea of adding this guy because his ability is a non-lethal one, which would put more emphasis on the approach rather than getting a cheeky kill. I honestly think there's enough traps in the game right now. Some of you might think that he would be a good roamer, but I don't really think so. I think there's been a big increase in the popularity for IQ, which would be a hard counter to him as she would be able to scan him. Another reason would be that he has an active special ability which is not optimal for roaming. My second idea for a defensive operator would be one with a Capcan-like alarm system. So the idea is that operator would be able to install 3 alarm systems which would be very difficult to spot. So there would be no laser. It would only be a small metallic box on the side of the door. When someone would walk in it, it would trigger a loud sound noticing the defenders that an attacker is there. The reasons why I think he would be a good addition to the game are the following. Firstly, it would buff IQ's special ability because it would be so hard to spot. If you would want to be sneaky, you would have to have IQ scan ahead of you, unless you completely ruin your crosshair placement and you spend a lot of time looking at door frames. It would be very easy to learn and hard to master as the reward would be information. Generally, the importance of information directly scales with your understanding of the map and the game flow. It would slightly buff the shock drone, which I don't think is a bad thing. It would work very well with other gadgets in the game, for example nitro cells. For example, you could stick a C4 right under the door frame, and then when you would hear the alarm go off, you would detonate the C4 knowing that the enemy is right on top of it. The same principle also applies with wallbangs, which is why I think it would buff Tachanka a lot. Note that all of the practical uses of this gadget are based off of teamwork, which is what we should be pushing for, I think. The third idea I had was an operator that would have a stun drone. So it would be a lot like the shock drone with a stun grenade instead of the taser. And I'm sure the game devs would have to tweak it a little bit with it, but I think it would be balanced with a single use. Oh, and by the way, it would be so cool if it would jump at head level before detonating its stun grenade. So the effects that I think it would have on the metagame are the following. Firstly, it would be a great counter to roamers without being too much of a pain for the defenders. Because think about it, if you flash someone on a site, someone's got to have his back, right? But if you flash someone that's roaming, no one has got his back. He's completely vulnerable. And so obviously at that point, you would call out his position and then your teammate would go in for the easy kill. So as you can see, that would promote teamwork and communication while still being fairly useful when you're on your own. That drone would buff Mute a lot because it would have no way of jumping over / destroying the jammers. I honestly think that buffing Mute is a good thing right now. His jammers are not the best at stopping the drones and it would suddenly make him a lot more useful. It would also promote teamwork, like asking for Thatcher or Twitch to destroy the jammers so that you could go in and flash someone before an important fight. It would also make it a little more difficult to execute the battery trick on most maps because you could just go and flash bandit with the drone, and then at that point he wouldn't be able to stop the breach. Now let's talk about what the new operators are going to be. So you have an operator that's going to be placing additional cameras, which I think is a good idea, and it's going to have a good effect on the metagame. The other operator though, I'm not sure if I like it. So his special ability is supposed to be to deploy small ballistic shields that are mounted on the side of his gun. Let's think about the effects of that. It's a small gunfight advantage, but in no way is it promoting teamwork, communication, or the approach to the fight. Sure, you could say that someone could get behind him, but practically it's going to work like 1 out of 100 times. It's just really hard to peek shoulder to shoulder with a teammate without shooting him in the back at one point. And it's the same thing with Buck, honestly. I don't like the effects that he has on the metagame. It's a very selfish operator. The only thing that he can do for his team is to create murder holes. I personally think that the new operators should bring something new to the team rather than having a small gunfight advantage. But in the end, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you like that type of thing, maybe you want more roamers, or maybe the balance of the game is drastically different on consoles compared to PC. So yeah guys, let me know what you think, and as per usual, thank you so much for watching, thanks for the support, and I'll see you soon. The metagame is that Twitch will send her shock drone destroying the ADSs, allowing Thermite to throw uncooked grenades in the hole. That's gonna push back Bandit from the garage door long enough so that Thermite can blow a hole through it. So obviously by blocking the air vent with the armor packs, they're trying to stop the shock drones and the grenades. Because of latency, it takes some time for your computer to send the information about your movement to the server, which will send it to other players. Here's an easy way to visualize this. Imagine there's a ghost right behind you that follows you everywhere you go. It's separated from you ever so slightly. That ghost is where other players see you.